G'day punters, I'm Mark Duclos. Welcome along to this week's episode of Behind the Boxes. Of course, it is Melbourne Cup week and we had the race that stops the nation run and won on Tuesday afternoon. James McDonald and Very Elegant taking out Thoroughbred Racing's biggest prize. As always, we've got a big show, and as always, my old mate Timmy the Battler Newbold joins me. Morning, Battler. Tell me, how was Derby Day? Because you spruiked up some big wins during your career, and Melbourne Cup Day. How did you end up? What side of the ledger of the punt did you end up on?
Yeah, g'day, Duke. Line ball both days, but I did get out a bit of trouble later in the day, so probably good result in the end because I was on my knees early days. Derby Day, both days I found a double figure winner throughout the afternoon, so that really helped me get out of trouble. But yeah, nothing big, just very quiet, just small punting, bit of an interest, quaddies and whatnot. But yeah, it's been a good week. It's a marathon week as far as punting is concerned with the Flemington Carnival. But geez, I love this time of year. Oaks Day earlier today, and then we got the final day of the carnival on Saturday. So we'll butter up yet again, Duke, and try and get a big quaddie or something to pay for Christmas.
Yep, and as far as chasing action is concerned, New South Wales heavily represented in the Top Gun Sprint and Stays version this Saturday at the Meadows. We're going to preview that a little bit later in the program as well. But we're very, very pleased that our special guest is a man who is no stranger to greyhound fans around Australia. Peter Lagogiane joins us now on Behind the Boxes. Good morning, Pete. How are you, buddy?
Morning, guys. How are we going?
I'm very well. Now, I want to go back to the beginning. You were formerly known as Pete the Painter, and I'll tell you what, I'm doing a renovation at the moment. If you can slip the overalls on and hop up to Grafton and give me a hand, mate, it is the bane of everyone who does a reno, right? I don't know how you did it, but you went from Pete the Painter to professional greyhound trainer. Where did you get your first bars, and where were you first hooked on greyhound racing, Pete?
Oh, mate. Yeah, thanks for introducing me as Pete the Painter. I haven't heard that for a while. That's a memory. I've still got the paintbrushes and the rollers in the garage.
Up you come, buddy. Up you come. Yeah.
And the overalls.
Yeah.
Just a reminder every week. Yeah, look, Dad had actually a few dogs with an uncle of mine when we were wee little kids, and stories told. When I saw him, I was afraid of him, and so and then at 14, I bought a greyhound with a couple of mates and my brother-in-law, and it went from there. It snowballed from there. Fell in love with them. And
from there, you built up a big team. As I say, you eventually became a professional trainer. You're based at Landila with your wife Jodie and that. And those early days, Pete, how tough were they, combining a full-time job with trying to reach the top as far as your passion is concerned?
Yeah, look, you come home, you left at 6 a.m, you were home at 3 in the arvo, you didn't even have time to get out of your overalls, as many people saw me trolling with my overalls, empty the dogs, load them up in the trailer, and off I went trolling or racing. And, at the end, I just said, this is what I want to do. I had a passion for it. I had a love for the sport, and more importantly, I had a love for the animal. So I just dropped the roller on the brush and said, this is what I really want to do. And everybody called me crazy. I remember Mum saying, you're mad. Well, I said, Mum, I don't want to prove you wrong, but I'm going to. So, fortunately I did.
That is one thing you've done. You have proven Mum wrong. You don't want to do it too often, though, Pete.
Oh, I don't know.
Now, back in 2014, now, I think it's fair to say you shocked the greyhound racing world when you up stumps from Landilo, property there, and went over to Dubai to train for one of the princes. You set up a big racing operation over there. Tell us about that ride. It's quite a remarkable story.
Yeah, big fella. Mate, we were surprised as much as anybody that we got the call up. There was a few trainers in mind, and they wanted a young, sort of ambitious trainer, and I fitted their bill, and they flew us over there, and Sam Sultana was going there and checking dogs for him, and sort of after that, getting the call up to do that, mate, it was an amazing experience, to work with the Prince of Dubai, and a few sultans over there and all that. And Sheikh Mohammed himself, which obviously everybody knows, you know, runs the Godolphin horse racing industry. And this is his son we work for. So to meet Sheikh Mohammed and to meet whoever we met over there, there's an array of people that, you know, movie stars, soccer players, you name it. We saw them there, and mate, what an amazing lifestyle they've got over there. And to live that for over 2.5 years and be a part of that, mate, it was mind blowing. And the experience I got from it, you know, working with the vets, working with world leading vets over there, world leading horse trainers, you know, when they met me and said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm training greyhounds." They all just looked down at me and thought, "Greyhounds? What are these?" You know, we have Salukis. And so yeah, it was an eye opener. It was a real eye opener.
Hey, Pete, what was the most amazing thing that you saw in Dubai? Because we hear of all their riches and everything that you know, the Arab Emirates nations have got. What was something that actually blew you away in Dubai whilst you were there?
The white lines in the cars.
The white lines in cars?
Got them. Yeah. Yeah, that mate, his pets. Look, we looked after, at the end, we started looking after his personal farm, and yeah, we trained some. We actually hand trained some white lion cubs, Jody and I, and that was the most amazing thing we've done. You know, to have, you know, cheetahs, lions, you name it. You know, just around our feet, running around our feet, and here we are hand feeding them chicken and meat, and training them to be social animals. Which he did. And look, I'll tell you, the love they have over there for animals is second to none. You know, he loves all animals. The Prince of Dubai just loves all animals. He's got an affinity with animals. I can recall one day driving through the desert with him, and we stopped, obviously not in the car with him, we were following him, and he stopped, went down his window, and he whistled. And here comes a camel from about 2 kilometers away, and just knew the whistle, came out, put his head in there, he rubbed the head, off went the camel, and off we went. It was an amazing experience to see that.
Yeah, and that, I guess, is what life is all about, mate, experiences and that. And you are one of the only people in Australia, probably the only person, to say that you've been to Dubai, you've trained for a prince and a sheikh, and you've got those experiences for life. But home was calling, and you made your way back to Australia. Pete, I want to talk $1 Million Chase now. The inaugural running of the $1 Million Chase at Wentworth Park in 2018. Mystic Riot, formerly prepared by your good mate Anthony Azzopardi, was sent up to you in Sydney with a specific target in mind, and that was that $1 Million Chase. I've got to tell you, my most vivid memories of the night, apart from her spearing out and winning the race from box 7, was halfway through the race, or down the back, you said, "Who's in front?" And I said to you, "You are," and you're like, "Really?" Because you couldn't see that far, right? Yeah. Secondly, after the race, you've jumped up into my arms, right? And thirdly, dancing down the home straight, throwing your lead up in the air. It was something. I've been on track for so many big races and so many big wins. That was unbelievable, mate. Tell me your experiences that you remember from that night.
Mate, yeah, look, you just explained it all, mate. It was, you know, that memory just comes flashing back now, and mate, it was an amazing feeling, you know, to prepare a dog for such a prestigious race and the first one in the world, to come home in the order we did because of Dad being ill, you know, to return home and leaving a major contract, you know, overseas. And sort of leaving all that money behind and saying, "No, I'm coming home for Dad," and Dad being ill, and Jody followed me and said, "Yeah, you do what you think is right," and we did that. And look, you know, I look, there were so many good dogs in that race. You know, the top trainers were in the race, especially Jason Thompson. You know, I think he had 3 in the race, and you know, Poke the Bear was in the race. People didn't think we had a chance, you know, but you know, that little girl, she shone bright that night, and she really did. And you know, she had antics in Melbourne, and you know, sent down, and you know, we're up there with Beast, and then brought her down and had a go with her. And mate, it took me 8 months to get her right. So it wasn't just a thing that we said, "Yep, let's do it." You know, she had her dramas, and to do what she did on you know, for that period of time, mate, it blew my mind. You know, and it showed me the faith I've got in the animal, and in what greyhounds can do for you. You know, once they react with you and bond with you. So and she more bonded with Jody than anybody, you know, little Riot. And so, mate, look, as you said, I couldn't see down the back straight. I didn't know who was in front, you know. And then, like you said, when it's me, my heart started pounding. And then I looked up at the screen and I saw the 7 in front. Then I looked across the track, the 7 was in front, and then I saw the 8 chasing us. And you know, and Crouchy started riding, you know, and he's a good mate of mine, and he started riding. So I looked at him and said, mate, I'm pulling the whip here, you know. And out comes Shane Dye, you know, and started whipping. And mate, we got home, and the rest was, the rest, I think, adrenaline and emotion just took over, Duke. And mate, it was the most emotional night of my life, you know, to like I said, for what we went through in the last couple of years prior to that, and nursing Dad back to health. And look, mate, it was just an unbelievable feeling. And to experience that a second time was even more explosive to us, you know. And again, that wasn't on the dialect, was it? You know, to happen again. So,
hey, Pete, I just want to ask you. We talk about heart rates and that, and they monitor sportsmen. Cast your mind back to that night. You are racing for $1 million, and as they've come past us at the 520 metre boxes, there's 80 or 90 or 100 metres left to go. Do you remember the heart rate? Do you remember what you were feeling? Like, was there that massive sense of anxiety about what was going to happen in the next 5 seconds? Yeah, mate. It was complete euphoria. It just, your heart just jumps out of your chest. You just, I was running down the straight chasing my heart because that was already down there, trying to find Jody, So, look, it's unexplainable. We've all had children, obviously, and when we see the birth of our child, it's that euphoric moment again, and it felt similar to that.
And Pete, you just mentioned, it's quite remarkable. 2 years later, Shaq Latimer, one of your clients, purchased Handsome Prince from Tassie. He came up, he won a prelude, he won a semi-final, and lo and behold, he came out running from box 7, charged over, he cut across at the first turn against one of the best fields we've ever seen. And there's your second $1 million chase winner. Did you think that was possible?
Oh, Tim, let me tell you, when we did the box draw and Shaq drew, I think box 2 and box 7 were available, and Shaq drew the 7, mate, he was no friend of mine. No friend of mine that night. And I can remember he threw me the little statue, and he said, there you go. He says, you've done it last time out of box 7, you'll do it again. I said, you're bloody kidding, you idiot. So I said, we needed box 2. So and he was supremely confident the whole week. He just kept bringing me and saying, mate, we got this. And mate, to do it again, who would have thought with and look, we bought Handsome Prince purely on his name. As we know, he was sourced from Tasmania. I can recall when they said to me, do you like his form? I said, no, mate, I like his name. We've got to race this dog. We want this dog. And that's the truth. That's how it all happened. And we purchased him, we purchased his brother also over wine, which Shaq likes to do, or 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So yeah, and mate, the rest is history. He shined on the night, and we love to prepare him, for the races. We love to get him right, and I'm a big believer of that, guys. I like to prepare him, and then you get him in the mode and in the mood for that race. You get yourself. I had my headphones on the whole week. Took no part in anybody else's problems, anybody else's, dramas, and just listened to my music as I did my dogs and sung to them all week, as I do when leading up to a big race. That's me. And the dogs feel your I think your silence, and your calmness, and that, I believe, goes through them, and so it worked for us.
Hey Pete, what was the feeling like the second time around?
Oh, again, look, we had a bit of an emotional roller coaster that week. We had Grandma Jill passed, and to be honest with you, the race came second that week, and it's sad to say, even though the build up and all that, just losing a family member was pretty hard. The grieving the family did, and we're so close to them. It was like a second mum to Jodes, and. So yeah, but she said to us, whenever on a deathbed, she said, whenever you see a double rainbow, it's me. And lo and behold, driving to the track, we saw a double rainbow. as quirky as it sounds, we saw one driving to the track. You know, we had a storm. It was very, very similar to Mystic Riot's driving to the track. We had a storm. The race was nearly called off that night, if I can remember. It was put back an hour, you know, and you think, oh, Jesus, is the race going to go ahead, you know, or the adversity? And again, so driving to the track in stormy conditions and seeing a double rainbow on the way there, and JD calling me and telling me, did you see that? I said, you know, and I said, I saw it. And, you know, we both had a tear running down our eye, and you know, that's why I knew. I said something special is going to happen tonight, and it did.
Yeah, it was remarkable. $2 million chases, both greyhounds starting out of box 7. Hey, Pete, another top-class chaser you had, which we never, ever saw the best of, was Beast Unleashed. He's now with Tony Wiseman at Sires on Ice. He won the Launching Pad Series at Sandown Park. He won the Gosford Gold Cup in 2019, and sadly, that win in the Cup was his last ever race start. He succumbed to injury. Tell me, when you compare dogs that you've had to prepare big races and win big races, where does Beast Unleashed sit?
Oh, mate, top of the tree for me. You know, he was probably the most ferocious and hardest chaser I've ever trained. You know, he was the keenest dog I've ever had. You know, to look at him in the kennel, he's the quietest little button you've ever met. So, yeah, look, that dog, through adversity, he raced with an injury, I think, through his whole career, just about. You know, when we went to Melbourne, he sustained a little injury, and it got worse and worse and worse. And so, mate, yeah, he's top of the tree for me. He's one of the best chasers and the fastest dogs I've ever trained. Easy. And
he's doing really well at stud at the moment, mate. He's starting to get a number of bitches.
Yeah. Look, not surprising. I've said this dog, he'll throw, and that's why, I said to Dawn, the other owner, I said, look, we'll put him to stud. I think he's really going to throw. He's got the temperament. He's got all the attributes to be a stud dog, and he's throwing some nice style of dogs too, and most of them are 500 metre plus dogs. So, 450 metre plus dogs. So, I've got one here, I think, that'll run 600 too. So a little bitch. So, and they're chasing, and he's throwing that onto them. So, and only a handful of litters have started racing at the moment, and just the feedback we're getting is enormous. So when you get blokes like Jeff Collins ringing you and saying, mate, this dog got under my radar, how many straws have you got available? It's a feather in our cap, really, and for the dog, when you get, breeders like that, ringing you on the phone and saying that. So, look, I think a lot of people are starting to take notice of the little pup, and, hopefully, look, one hot day doesn't make a summer, Duke, you know that.
Yeah.
Look, as long as he keeps throwing the winners, and he's only had, look, and to be honest with you, no offense to the bitches, he hasn't had any real bitches go to him in the first, 10 or 15 litters. He only had the, your fifth grades and your below grade, city class bitches. So he's starting to get the good bitches now. So look, the future is looking bright for him, we hope.
Yeah, Pete, just quickly before we get into some training tips, Paycall, where's she at the moment? Is she targeting the GBOTA Phoenix series, or where's she at the moment?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, look, that's the plan. Yes, she came home obviously from Queensland. We turned her out, give her a bit of a break. She had a sort of a long haul there, and she came back, and obviously we saw a little bit of what she can do again. And just again, she's just got a touchy wrist that we have to maintain. We put her around Wentworth Park on Tuesday night, and obviously the track conditions were a little bit wet and that, and didn't suit her again. So look, we're looking forward to going on Tuesday with her to Gosford. We'll go over it today and make sure everything's all right. If not, we'll follow up on the Saturday if Gosford's no good.
And of course, she won the Group 3 ladies bracelet. That's Paycall. Hey, Pete, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to take a really short break, and then on the other side of the break, we're going to come back and get some of your training tips on what it is that Team Lagogiani does to get their dogs to do their best. Again, stay tuned here on Behind the Boxes. Coming up, Pete Lagogiani's training tips. Welcome back to this week's episode of Behind the Boxes. Our special guest is dual $1 million chase trainer, Peter Lagogiani. Pete, we had a great response when we had Jason McKay on talking about training winners and giving his training tips. I want to pick your brain I want to start with the basics. What is your typical racing diet for a greyhound that's in full work?
Oh, mate, look, premium beef, premium kibble. I'm a big pasta and rice man. You know, I feed, you know, little vitamins. I'm big on iron. I'm a big iron supplement feeder. And basically that's it, mate. You know, keep it simple. And they love their fish. They love their sardines. They love their tunas and their salmons.
Tell us about the pasta and rice, mate. Not a lot of people do feed it. How often do you feed it? How much do you feed?
Yeah, look, we feed it daily. We give pasta and rice daily. Pasta one day, rice the next. We just break it up a bit. You know, they get a handful of it each in their dinner. You know, being of Greek background, you know, we ate a bit of that, you know, with our Italian neighbours. So
bit of basil, bit of rosemary.
Yeah, it worked for us. You know, look, I try to keep it as natural as possible. I really do. You know, as long as your meat's, you know, top grade and your kibble's premium. You know, your oils, you know, I had my omega-3s, my omega-6s, and they get that out of the sardines also, along with the salmon and tuna, as I said. You know, we slip them with methionine, you know, 1 methionine in their dinner every night. You know, we currently do our bloods. As you mentioned, the man, you know, Jason McKay, mate, he was, you know, as you guys know, he taught me a lot, you know, growing up, going through my younger years, and I looked up at him, and you know, and to stand alongside him now and call myself a trainer by his side, and you know, it's a big thing for me, you know, especially, you know, you idolise people like that growing up, and then, you know, to race against them and every now and then beat them, you know, that's a great thing for us. So as young blokes growing up. So yeah, look, he taught me a lot in that department, you know, as well as, you know, there's a union of people I could mention, you know, that did that. So yeah, and mate, the feed is the most important thing I think you can give a greyhound. You know, you got to keep it regular, you got to keep it sustainable for them, and you know, if you feed them more, you work them hard, you know, necks and backs. I believe that, you know, you got to align their necks and their backs. You know, I'm big on checking my dogs. I check my own dogs and check their feet regularly because that's what they run on.
And Pete, what about your routine for a dog in full work? As far as, you know, if you're racing at Wentworth Park week to week, after the run on the Saturday night, what would the routine look like for the next, say, 7-day period when you're aiming up again a week later?
Well, within 48 hours, we do the urine strips. Tim, when we get home, we just see where the urine, if there's any blood in the urine, which is very important. We seek the condition of the kidneys, and if you see blood in the, you know, then we'll obviously go and do a blood test again on the dogs. You know, within 3 or 4 days after the run, and just see what problems there are. But look, generally, you give them a nice bath. You know, some dogs like the bath, some dogs don't. They relax for 48 hours, and then we give them a slip 2 to 3 days prior to just up the straight. Mate, we give them a call up. Some dogs, you know, like to chase a drag. Some dogs just like to call up. They're all individuals. They let you know. You know, the dogs talk to you, mate. You just got to listen to them. That's one thing a lot of trainers, I think, don't do today. You know, it's just about putting them in the boxes and letting them go around. I notice a lot of people just put them in a box, watch, you know, and don't even watch them go around and collect the ticket and see what they've trialled. You know, I'm a big believer in, and Jace actually taught me this: watch your dog, learn from your dog, and that'll make you a trainer. So we're big on that. So yeah.
Pete, you mentioned you check your own dogs like all top trainers do. What's your preferred method? Do you use a laser, an ultrasonic, or are you still old school and hand massage with a lot of the injuries?
Yeah, mate, all of it. All of it. You know, we do lasers, a magnetic field. You know, while I was down at Anthony's, you know, going down there, and you know, Anthony had a new, you know, vibrating machine, which I thought, wow, you know, what's that, Anthony? You know, I thought, geez, I thought they only use it in the massage parlors, but you know, he used, you know,
how do you know what happens in a massage parlor?
well, not all, you know.
You've read the stories, right?
Yeah, bro, you know, just growing up reading Penthouse Forum, you know, and you know, going down there.
Stop there. You're getting into too much with Jones, buddy.
You know, seeing Anthony with the vibrating machine, I thought, Jesus, you Maltese, you know, and you know, and you picked up, and I picked up something new from there too, you know, and I brought that home, and for injuries, and it creates a good blood flow for the dogs, and we use that too, for big injuries, and all of the above, mate. You got to use science today, obviously, science as in lasers, magnetic field, things like that. Injectables now is I think, a thing of the past.
Yeah.
The supplements that you give orally today are enough. And if a dog can run, mate, a dog can run. And like I said, you keep his fitness up, his body tuned. They're race cars. They need to tune up every now and then.
You talk about the injectables, Peter. A lot of the old trainers and that will tell you that the answer to a dog's problem was not at the end of a needle. It was about finding out what was up with the dog. And as say, like 20, 30, 40 years ago, we used to needle dogs all the time. But now it really is, as you say, it's a thing of the past mostly.
It is, mate. No, it is. If you get their bloods right, and you feed them, like I said, you feed them right, you get their bloods right, you get the urine right, their kidneys are working good, their livers are good. If they can run, they'll run for you. You keep them happy. What's the old saying? Give them a warm bed in the winter and a cool bed in the summer, and they'll do the rest. It's fairly simple, mate. It's we like to keep it simple. It's common sense more than anything. Common sense will apply, and listen to your dog, listen to your animal. I know they don't talk to you, but they show you signs, and that's them talking to you. You just got to watch them. And I remember seeing, young trainers coming through and saying, I spent a lot of time with my dogs outside and just watching them in the paddock and watching them in the yards. And, and you pick up on them things, and we did that. And again, in Dubai, I saw the trainers there, and they just sat there for hours watching their dogs, their horses out in the, and watching them canter. And as you see trainers today, doing, watching them closely on their last furlong, and give them a dig in the ribs, and they see how the horses react. I said, well, charge the line, attack the line, they're ready. And same with greyhounds, mate. You just got to do that.
And Pete, post race, how do you rehydrate the dogs? What's your method?
Mate, we just like to give them a wet dinner when they come home. Not too much on the hard food as kibble. We like to actually introduce a little bit of bread and continue with the pasta. Just a handful of kibble. Plenty of sardines, plenty of the oil back in them. Or sardine or tuna. A couple of methanines and a Hiprex. If they've put a real hard run in, we like to give them an anti-inflammatory also orally on their dinner, which all goes down on our little slips that we do today. And
sheets,
on the medication sheets, correct. And mate, look, most of them pull up good. Mate, when they're fit, and they're sound, they pull up. Generally, you see a dog the next morning bounce back, and you see them on their toes. You've done your job right, and they're feeling well.
When you say hard run, what do you sort of make? What's a hard run in your eyes?
Well, I believe track conditions have got a lot to do with it, Tim. We don't play on that much in greyhound racing, where in the gallops they do. On a heavy track, and if a dog comes from 3 or 4 wide, when generally he's a rally, he comes out and and wins a race or busts a gut and run third. You notice your dog when he puts in a gut buster. They come home, they're a little bit down, and they get up in the morning, they're a little bit, they're not on their toes. And like I said, they tell you. You watch their run and you think, oh Jesus, mate, you got T-burn at the first turn, you got yourself up, you charge to the line, and they're puffing in the pen when you get there, they've had a go. So to me, that's a gut buster. Or they're 29.7 dogs that come out and run 29.5 and they're really blowing after that. You put in an extra bit this week, and so they tell you, and the next morning, like I said, the next morning is everything. When you get up in the morning, and you're out there and they're not up, they're still on their bed, and they get up, oh, geez, Dad, I've had a bit of a hard run last night. And, they tell you. So you just watch out for them. They'll let you know everything, mate. Just like a wife does. She lets you know everything. The dogs do the same.
Hey, Pete, I was going to say, you've been there from the beginning. You've reached the absolute pinnacle of our industry, and you just hit the nail on the head there with common sense. But it also helps, mate, to have a great partner who has got your back through the tough times as well as the good times. And I know how much Jody has supported you and the family, and how much assistance she gives you. And mate, here's your chance to make good after mentioning the massage parlour, mate. Tell me. Tell me about Jades
did you have
and
to pick that up, mate?
we saw that emotion when Mystic Riot won, and I've got to admit, I am a softie, mate. I had tears in my eyes when you race down the track and you embrace Jodie. You can't do what you do without her, mate.
No, mate. She's from the day I met Jodie, I knew she was a girl for me, and she's my rock. She's the air that I breathe. She's my right hand man, my left hand girl. She's my everything. She's given me two beautiful boys, which, mate, as a father, you just wake up every morning, you see them in bed while you wake up early, and you see them still snoring off in bed, and I look up at the heavens every morning and say thank you. I thank the Lord every morning that I've got her. I've got the two boys. She's our rock. I go to her. She's my go-to man now. She's it. I used to ring every other trainer back in the day, and she brings me back down to earth. She talks common sense to me. Obviously, as people know, Jodie's been a vet nurse, was a vet nurse, for many years, and so she knows her stuff too. So she knows her animals, she knows her medication, she knows everything. Like I said, behind a good man is a great woman, and whoever says no to that, well, they've got rocks in their head. You can't do it without them, and especially this job, especially racing. These dogs are athletes. These dogs, this is a 7-day, 24-hour, hour a day venture, mate. It's not, we'll give it 5 days, we'll give them the weekend off, and we'll see you on Monday. It's not that. It's not that at all. You don't put them in the stable and you're out there every 3 hours. You're pissing them, you're walking them, you're doing things with them, checking dogs. She holds them and she sees the reactions, and she knows. She knows how we treat them, and she, when I'm not there, she'll just go in and do the little bits, and it works. It bloody works, So you need that. You need that. Otherwise, you're not successful.
Hey,
You've
Pete.
redeemed yourself, buddy. Yeah, you've redeemed yourself, mate.
Yeah, big time. If you're in any danger in any bad books, you're well and truly out now. That is one of the best recoveries I've seen in a long time.
Can you send me a copy of this so I can send it to Jodes, please?
Hey, Pedro, thank you so much, mate. As I say, I've been fortunate, and I should bring that up, I think, too, Battler, because both occasions that Peter's won the $1 Million Chase, I've been hosting trackside. I would think just as a small part of remuneration or good luck measures.
Oh, not another one.
He can just pop up here and just do the back rooms for me, because I'm sick and tired of painting, brother.
Oh, mate, thank God. I thought you were asking for cash. No cash.
No, well, mate, after 2 years, it hasn't arrived. I don't think it is now.
Let me tell you, I haven't seen it either.
If you want to go down that line, Jerk, if he doesn't win another one, I'm going to put my hand up. I called 2 of them. So, hey.
Actually, you have. Yeah, well, you two are part of it, so I need you there next year.
Well, next year, mate, you're going to get 2 cracks of that, Pete. So, again, it'll be a memorable 2022. It's been a memorable 2021 for, unfortunately, a lot of the reasons. Hey, mate, as I said, we really appreciate your time. Best of luck for the future, buddy. And may that good fortune continue.
Thanks, guys. Look, it's been a pleasure. I just want to say, what Greyhound Racing has done for us and where it's headed today. We've got some good people at the helm. We're going in the right direction. Andy Lord said on your previous podcast, I think if you're not making money today in Greyhound Racing, well, you're not going to make money anywhere. And the prize money levels today are just brilliant. And let's just hope the industry keeps going the way it's going and moving forward. And we stick with it. And mate, we love the lifestyle, we love the animals, and we love doing what we're doing. So we're the fortunate ones, mate. Nobody else. So yeah, thank you.
All right, Battler, time to talk racing action, time to talk Group 1 racing action specifically. We're going to head to the Meadows on Saturday night. Boy, oh boy, New South Wales got a great chance of taking out both the sprinters and the stayers versions of the Top Gun. As far as the sprint version is concerned, Zipping Kyrgios draws box 3. He's at $7.50. Wow draws box 5 at $9.50. Huge odds for him. Banded Ned, $4.20. Jungle Juice at $15. Now, Wow trial $29.95 there on Monday. Banded Ned trial $29.71. The favourite is Aston Rupee at $2.50, the Sandown Park track record holder. Mate, I think we're in with a massive chance with all four of these odds, and I think they're huge odds.
I think they've got I agree, Duke, a great chance. Jungle Juice, he's very awkwardly drawn out there in the pink. He's got to get around, Bandit Ned, who's going to run a straight line. Wow will hold his line up the middle of the track. So I think out of our four chances, Jungle Juice, he's going to need a heck of a lot of luck to get across from that wide alley. But if he happens to, we know he's capable of putting the time on the board to take out the race. I agree with you regarding Wow. I think he's a tremendous price. $9, $10 I saw around the traps at one stage. We know what his racing traits. He handles middle draws. He's better drawn wider out on the track, middle to wide. He's a bit touchy at box rise, but then he just lets go. He's got a great record at the Meadows. He's run 29.78. He ran that 29.90 odd in that trial on Monday night. He'll be better for that trial, Jick. He hasn't had a run over the 500 metres for quite some time. Travel down. So I've got no doubt he'll take a stack of benefit out of that trial. Bandit Ned, he went like a rocket, 29.74 in his trial. He's got his alley. He's perfectly drawn wide out where he does want to be. He's just got a bit of pace underneath him in Tigalong Tong. Wow, again, will hold his line. And Jungle Juice, if he happened to begin, he does want to get to the inside. So Bandit Ned's got to be able to handle those greyhounds around him. It's not an ideal draw in this race, but normally you'd say he's perfectly drawn out there, but it's just a little bit of a tricky draw. But hey, he's overcome tricky draws in the past in the Vic Peters, so he's got an undeniable chance. He's the real X factor, rising through the ranks. Zipping Kyrgios, he's another. I could have something on it. He's price Duke. He's $7.50. He tried 29.84 there last week, and he's not too badly drawn in the three alley. So I think we've got an undeniable chance to take out the sprint this year, Duke.
Yeah, look, I can see Zipping Kyrgios getting a similar sort of run that he got in the Black Top series behind Morsauce and Zulu Warlord, hopping onto the fence. He's going to be better for the trial. We talk about Wow. Box 4, he's had 9 starts, 5 wins. Box 5, 3 starts, 2 wins. Box 6, 7 starts, 5 wins. You talk about his box manners. If we go off his heat and final win in Goulburn, stepped beautifully.
Yep.
This is his first 500 for a little while, but won the Group 1 Tem Lee at the Meadows. He knows what it takes, or he's got the ability to win these big Group 1 races. If he steps and gets that little bit of clean air, boy, oh boy, we know what he can run at Wenning. We know he can run fast times at the Meadows as well. And as I say, Bandit Ned, he's just on that upward trajectory that we all talk about. And Jungle Juice, his win at the Meadows 2 weeks back, absolutely terrific. So, look, if we've got a big chance to win that, we've got a big chance to win the stayers as well. Miss Esme draws box 1. She's at $5. Zipping Niseko now gets a start. It's in box 3. It's at $17. Stanley Road at $4.60. Super Estrella at $18. The favourite there is Zach's Entity. Now, Zipping Niseko and Stanley Road trialled over the 600 metres at the Meadows on Monday evening. Stanley Road went 34.2. Zipping Niseko went 34.4. How do you read this race?
Yeah, I think Miss Esme is probably the key, Duke. You just got to work out what you're going to do with her from her last start. Now, she was no doubt disappointing, really, really disappointing, but you could make a few little excuses. She'd had a pretty hard Sydney Cup campaign, and it was a brilliant win in that featuring at Wentworth Park, then went down to the Meadows, but she was really disappointing on face value there. But she's too good of a dog not to bounce back, so I think you've got to forgive her for that one below par run. Stanley Road, look, you know what you're going to get with him. He'll begin poorly. He'll be out the back. He'll be giving the leaders 10 with a lap to go. If he does get the rails runs, he could easily steam over the top. And we know he's another New South Wales greyhound who's got a good record at the track. Super Estrella does interest me at the price. She's around the 20 to 1 mark. Gee, she beat Stanley Road at their latest outing back in Sydney. She'll roll forward. She's nicely drawn wider out. She's got a great chance as well at the big price. Zach's Entity, the race favourite, Duke. Like he was outstanding when he put them away at his latest run and defeating Miss Esme in that run. So look, I'm finding it hard to read the race. I'm probably going to land on Stanley Road. I think around the $4.50 mark. He's probably a bet, but I'd have to have something on Super Estrella at the 20-1. She's too good a bitch to let go round at that type of a price, Duke. And yeah, I think Miss Esmo, I think she'll improve out of sight after that latest run, and she's setting up beautifully in the Cherry.
Yeah, and look, it was a 3-dog race, so it's hard to read her. Look, obviously she was extremely disappointing coming off a 41.70 win at Wentworth Park in the Group 2 Sydney Cup. Saxanity won that race. It was only a 3-dog field, and obviously everything changes. We saw how Jack, and we know how Jack can improve dogs from runs to runs. She hadn't been to the Meadows in that sense over the 725. She ran 42.29 at Wenny and then come out and ran 41.70 in the final. So you've got to forgive them one bad run. You know, it's simple as that. And you know, that old saying that form is temporary and class is permanent. So she sits up in the red, but you're right, Timmy, at around that $18, $20 mark. Super Estrella. Stanley Road won the Group 1 Fanabale Superstars. So how do you knock them? I think we can take both of them out, but I am a parochial New South Wales. Hey, last Thursday afternoon at Casino, we had the Pop Northfield Maiden Run and won. It's always, again, it's another good race where good young dogs win that. It was taken out by Command's Respect for Glenda and Johnny Dart, running 23.44, won its heat and final from the outside draws by Aston DB out of She's My Chickie. And again, beautiful dam line. She's My Chickie is the dam of Ice Cream Story. One Dimension, a very fast dog. Lock Master, trained by Peter Lagogiane, and Teddy the Bear. So again, Johnny and Glenda Dart, they're having a great run at the moment. And whilst we're talking about Casino, Battler, it would be remiss of us not to say farewell to the club secretary manager there, Ronnie Hurd, who finished up last week.
Yeah, he did, Ronnie, after a long stint at the club. So well done to Ronnie. He's been a great servant of the greyhound industry for many, many years. Casino, it's run a well-run club. We all like tuning into Casino, trying to find a winner there. Donna Pezzett has taken up the role of the manager of the club now. So good luck to Donna in the new role. But yeah, congratulations to Ronnie for such a great job and such a long time in the industry, Duke.
Still in the Northern Rivers last Sunday afternoon, Battler, we had 3 heats of the Albert Gleeson Jacaranda Maiden Series. The fastest heat winner was conducted for Janelle Falls, going 25.74. Burnt Brother, 25.75 for Neville Creighton. Gypsy Dell, 26.01 for Johnny Dart. Ultra impressive Gypsy Dell. Worked and sort of missed the start and then had to go wide. Took a split in the home straight. Very, very impressive. Box draw not out yet. We're recording this Thursday morning and it'll come out later this afternoon. But it is in memory of my great mate, Albert Gleeson. $8,000 to the winner this Sunday. We've got a monkey to throw on the bar. So any of Albert's mates, I'm sure all the boys from Grafton will be there Sunday afternoon. So it's just a great way to pay homage and you know, remember a guy who was an absolute Grafton legend.
Yeah, whenever there's money on the bar, people, they come out of the woodwork for a drink. So I'm sure a healthy crowd will get there on Sunday. Yeah, some talented young pups coming through the series. Conducted, began well, but then showed a good turn of speed mid-race, handled the wide alley beautifully. Does look hard. I think the box draw is going to, play a big part in this race, as generally does. But look, I think he's got plenty of improvement in him. 909 early, then 1990, 584 home. Ran very, very similar sections to Burnt Brother, who won one of the other heats. So it'll be interesting where both of those greyhounds draw, considering they went almost identical early sections and run home times. The winner conducted by Twisted Love, who was a daughter of Double Twist. So another greyhound who's well bred. So yeah, I'm sure some of this series will throw up some nice young pups going forward, Duke.
And a couple of plungers went astray, Battler, let me tell you. Poor old Mickey Patterson, he had a greyhound by the name of Respectability in, which had been trialling terrific and had box 4, missed the start, struck trouble, and Mickey's still licking his wounds after that, but he will bounce back. A good man with a dog. All right.
Did you follow him in?
Yeah, I let them get on early. I told him I don't knock their price off after getting told. $3 into kick your hat. Thank you.
I don't think there was a text message or phone call at any stage on Sunday afternoon. Just
Oh, they call me the Vault, mate.
yeah. Left out.
Hey, Battler, what's hot, what's not, brought to you by our great sponsor, Ivory Co. Don't forget, for the best food for your racing animal or your companion animal, check out the range from Ivory Co. What's hot for you this week, buddy?
I'm heading to the Riverina, Duke, somewhere different for me. Greg Mills, he had a winning treble at Wagga on Friday evening. Going really well at the moment, Greg, having his best year to date, actually, as far as winners are concerned, upwards of 40 winners for the year. And the three winners were Blue Jay Izmir, Firebird Izmir, and Phoenix Izmir. The winning treble, all from the same litter. Fabregas out of Raven Izmir, so that's quite a feat in itself. All three winners from the same litter on the program, but 9 pups from the litter and all have won races. So that litter's flying, and good to see Greg get a winning treble at Wagga on Friday. Always
been a very good man with the dog. Always been a very good breeder. He used to send, and still did send, a lot of dogs up to Kenny Staines up here in the Grafton region, but those Izmir dogs, again, you get those little waves of them when the litters are born and that, and a lot of them have got a stack of talent. Hey, Bat, I'll tell you what's top for me, totally unrelated to greyhound racing. It's Cleo Smith and the Western Australian Police Force. A remarkable story, mate. I got 4 grandkids. I've got 3 of them are girls. One of them's the same age as Cleo Smith. You would have to be very, very hard not to have shed a tear when the news came through on Wednesday that they'd found her 2 weeks missing. God knows what may have happened to that poor little kid during that time. Hopefully nothing. But again, you sometimes in life, mate, you get this little kick up the arse, I guess, where you think everything's so important, and you hear a story like this, and it really does bring you back to reality. I know you've got 2 young boys, mate, and you know what it's like as a father.
Yeah, and I don't think you have to be a parent to sort of to feel this, but yeah, I'm like you. I was on the road yesterday, heading up to Newcastle when the news broke on the radio. It was early in the morning over here, and I think you're right. The radio I was listening to, the station I was listening to, the talkback host, he broke down when he was delivering the news, and I think there might have been a little tear too from me for sure. And as you said, I think you're a pretty tough person if you didn't shed a tear. It was amazing news. I don't think when it went along for this long, I don't think anyone was expecting the news to come through like that. And we, as I actually said on the station, it was great to actually deliver good news, because a lot of the time, things like this, it's not good news in the end. So it was fantastic to hear. And that photo, which is doing around in the media at the moment, sitting in the bed with the ice block, isn't that a ripping photo? So it is. I totally agree, Duke. It's sometimes, we whinge and complain about different things in our lives, and really it's just rubbish compared to what other people are going through at times. It's trivial, but this is probably it's been a crappy old year, to be quite frank. This is probably the feel-good story of the year, I think. Yeah,
and so often I grew up with the Beaumont Child Mysteries in Adelaide. They never found them. Guy I went to school with at Asquith Boys High, Neil Foxy, he went missing. Unfortunately, you don't get that good result with so many of these, but this was bloody amazing. Well done to the Western Australian Police, and let's hope that she lives a full and rich life, Cleo Smith. She is trending everywhere around the world, and she deserves to. All right, what is not hot for you?
Yeah, my little gripe this week, Melbourne Cup Day, obviously on Tuesday. I just can't work out why the Melbourne Cup is run at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, on a school day.
Do you want it moved? What do you want to move from a Tuesday? Or?
No, keep it on a Tuesday. Keep it on a Tuesday, but move it from 3 p.m. Put it back. And this is, I'm talking just not thoroughbred racing as a whole. When I was a kid, I got into racing when I was 5 or 6, but I was all 3 codes. I followed all 3 codes. I was crazy. I don't follow harness really these days, but I do follow the thoroughbreds closely as well as obviously greyhound racing. But I got into it as a kid as just a racing enthusiast. I don't get it when the race is run at 3 p.m. That's when school breaks up. School's out. So run it at 4 p.m. when the kids are at home, they're sitting on the lounge, and they might not have any interest in racing, but they might, it might just sort of spike a little interest and get them when they're young. I just don't get it. There's probably, I know they've tinkered with the time over the years. I think at one stage it was 3:05, might have been 2:45,
2:40 p.m.
2:40. So I just don't get it, Duke.
Well,
it might have a lot to do with the overseas markets, maybe. So, obviously, different overseas markets, it's hitting, it's going, probably early in the morning at a lot of places around the world. But just don't we have to try and get these young kids when they're young, involved in the industry? And it's our biggest race.
Why not put it back to 4:30 or 5 o'clock like they do with the Cox Plate? I mean, 3 o'clock Melbourne is 2 p.m. Queensland.
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't make
so.
It doesn't make, even if you put it back to 4 o'clock, kids are at home by then. So they can get into the feel of the day. It's like if you turn up at school and I know everyone can watch it on their devices now. So if you're sitting in the car waiting to pick the kids up, you can watch it on your phone. Yeah, you beauty. You should be at home. If you're home with the kids, get them involved. I don't know. I just don't get it, Chico. It just doesn't. There's probably a real logical reason.
Probably, I don't know what it is.
But yeah, to me, I think first and foremost, we've got to try and grow the industry, the racing industry as a whole, and get these kids when they're young. 3 p.m. our biggest race. Look at the grand finals in this day and age. All the grand finals, they want to have them night. Not suggesting night racing, but they want to have them as late as they possibly can to get a bigger audience. So, yeah, I don't get it. That's my gripe.
I just love to back the winner again. I can't remember the last time I backed the winner of Melbourne Cup. But anyway, hey, listen, the rumour file last week, we posed the question regarding earplugs. We've made representation to G Week. We'll have news on that in the upcoming weeks. What about a dog to follow, Battler? Where are you heading with this?
Yeah, I'm heading to Bathurst this week, Monday afternoon.
You are going all around the state.
I know. I know. I'm venturing out of the norm this week, Duke. Mr. Determined won his maiden on Monday at Bathurst. Now, look, only over the 300 metres, 307 metres, ran 17.63. Didn't begin all that well, but then, whoosh, he showed a great turn of speed when he balanced up, ran to the top, and he put Riles away with ease. He was only about 4 lengths outside the track record in a long-standing track record. I dare say if he began just a bit better, he would have gone pretty close to that record. So, look, I think he's a greyhound. Look, it's only over 300 metres, but just looking the way he found the line, I'm sure he'll step up to the 400 and eventually over the 500. By My Redeemer out of Bye Mystery. So he is bred to get the 500 metres. Trained by Lisa Robinson. So I think he's a greyhound to watch over the next few months. Mr. Determined, as I said, he broke his maiden on debut in that quick time.
All right, my dog to follow, She's a Pearl last week. I don't know if you noticed, Battler last night, won at Wentworth Park at $4.20.
Oh.
You got to crow while you can, mate, seriously, because mine are so well spaced. Right? I tell you what, I am very confident about this greyhound, but Kitty Keen won its heat of the Future Stars, running 22.40, ran second in the Future Stars final behind Ties That Bind, going 22.38. Came out on Monday night at Maitland and ran 22.32. It's by Fernando Bale out of a bitch called Lizzie Keane, who ran a track record at Gunnedah. Lizzie Keane was a sister to the likes of Finale, Another Grey, Willoughby, half sister to El Magnifico, and the Group 1 distance winner, True Detective. I've got no doubt this dog will run that 500. It's got blistering early speed, absolutely airborne and, just after box rise. Alan Cyphers prepares it. The little brother, Tiny Keen, also won at Maitland on Monday. I know Maitland's one of your home tracks. This dog has really, really sort of, I've followed it from the heats through to last week, and I reckon it's a dog with enormous promise, mate.
Yeah, I concur, Duke. I noticed it through the heats, and we mentioned it actually briefly last week on the show. Really talented. I know the mum really well, Lizzie Keane. She went around at Maitland in the early days, ran very quick times. She's a good beginner. She had high speed, so there's no doubt. I'm not shocked that she's actually thrown, a greyhound with ability. I think she had a few little injury worries as her career went on, but yeah, it does look like one to follow, Duke. I think that Future Stars this year, it's going to throw up actually, I think my dog to follow out of the Future Stars a couple of weeks ago won at Maitland too.
What was that one?
Yeah, way.PLUS Zephyr.
Right.
You know what price?
$1.08?
No, $1.18.
$1.18. Right.
I said it was a dog to follow, not to be on next start. But yeah, I really think that Future Stars this year is going to throw a heck of a lot of talented greyhounds.
Who knows if there is another Good Odds Errata or Zipping Curios to come out of that. All right. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us here at Behind the Boxes, our email address is btb@grnsw.com.au. Got to say, really disappointed with the GBOTA Phoenix series. Don't want to bag them too much, but I'll just say this: 5 or 6 at Bulli, 6 today at Gunnedah nominations. Right, Lismore, 2 dogs nominated, Cashview and Baroque Night, so that was cancelled. Maybe a bit of consultation might have seen this series for them run differently. Again, you can only take it on face value. We're talking about a race worth $750,000, a slot that they've paid $75,000 for. I don't know. That's my opinion. I just think there was probably a better way to go about it. As we know, Greyhound Racing New South Wales, we're leaving it up to the public. We've got 5 dogs already selected. We've got another 5 that we're going to select as a panel, and then that will go to the Daily Telegraph. The public will vote. One person will get a dog running for them for $50,000. That's my opinion. Do you concur? You don't have to. You can stay out, sit on the fence. You are an employee of Greyhound Racing New South Wales. I'm just a contractor, but I've got to say, very disappointed.
Oh, I'm sure the club's probably disappointed too with the numbers for the series, Duke. There's been, some talented greyhounds obviously contesting the series, but yeah, the numbers haven't really stood up, particularly with that Lismore heats, which were, they only got the couple of the runners, Cashview and the others. So, I'm sure when we get to Wentworth Park, though, the semis will be chock full of quality and ultimately the final. So, looking forward to, getting to Wentworth Park for that series, and then obviously the Greyhound Racing New South Wales eventual slot holder. What greyhound will that be? As you mentioned, we've got 5 greyhounds already in there. Another 5's got to be selected by a panel. So I'm sure those 10 greyhounds, Duke, they'll be chock full of quality, and whichever greyhound out of that 10 who does represent Greyhound Racing New South Wales and ultimately New South Wales, they're going to be a very, very worthy contender, that's for sure.
Yep, those 2 dogs that were nominated for Lismore, Cashview, who won the Lismore Cup the week prior, he goes around in a heat of the Ipswich Cup, and Baroque Night for Stevie Keep. Now, I spoke to Keepy this morning. He's going to go to the heats at Wentworth Park on Saturday week. Trial 25-2 at Grafton on trial morning the other day, which is airborne. So Cashview, if he doesn't get through to the final of the Ipswich Cup, Cookie said he will probably go to Wentworth Park. That's about all we've got. Big show. Peter Lagogiane, how good. Training for the Sheiks and the Princes, $2 million chasers. Hey, Batley, you have a good weekend. Hopefully we can find plenty of winners, mate.
Yeah, Duke, we'll be doing our best. We've got to try. It's only been a steady old week through the Flemington Carnival. Well, let's finish it strongly in the weekend. Eh?
All right, I'll catch you next week, buddy.
Thanks, Duke.
Timmy the Battler Newbold here on Behind the Boxes. We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. I'm Mark Duclos. Until next week, good luck, good punning. Catch you then.